and that's what Larry has to do. This is turning out to be a good exercise for Larry Donald to try to practice some of his skills.
All right, here we go, round number 7. And while the replay showed some pretty good shots of Pendergrass scoring, make no mistake about it, Larry Donald won that round. Now look at this. He just kind of lets him go. How about thrown him off with some conviction? Now he's up on his toes. Now throw the jab, Larry. Throw the jab, throw the right hand behind it. Throw the left hand, Larry. Get it out there, kid.
That's right. Tell him, Colonel, because that's...
There you go.
When he's moving and not throwing anything, it's not real productive. But when he's moving and using that jab, he can be a real beautiful thing.
Remember Larry Holmes when he'd get up on his toes, you could see that little head stack going back and forth. You knew that there was going to be some real stuff left in. Larry can do the same thing. When he got up on his toes, he only threw one punch, and when he did it, he was great.
That's right. And I think, Pendergrass is a tough guy, and it gets discouraging after a while. You keep nailing the guy, you keep missing the guy with the big shots, and he probably put a lot of pressure on himself, wanting to look impressive in front of the governor, Jesse Ventura, Don Kings in the audience, some of these guys, and look at it, this guy's coming around.
All right, more right hands, Larry, more right hands. He threw a couple of pretty good right hands there, and every once in a while, I have to get on my fighter's gal.
I hear you. I love that about you, Colonel. Just tell us like you really feel.
I'll tell you, I get frustrated. I like this kid. I said with him in the basketball game, I got to get in this corner and coach him. I hate to do that, but
well, go on over there.
He's standing right over me.
I'll take over for a minute and a half here for you.
Okay. Get there, Larry. Get there.
Now he's starting to. That's Larry has to get more aggressive as he continues in his future of his career, and I think that this kind of fight here tonight will make him do that. He should do this. I was expecting a little more aggression out of him, but maybe the best is yet to come.
Well, he's doing a good job counterpunching right now because Pendergrass just keeps plodding forward. Pendergrass scores a couple shots. Larry ties him up. He's so there for the right hand. Just set him up with a jab, take a half step to the right, and let that right hand fly.
Yeah, it looks like Larry is not, his upper body movement is not there right now. I don't know if he's tired, winded, or what have you, but he's fighting in spurts, and I think he's looking for the big shot, and he needs to work for it, not wait for it.
Well, he's waiting for it, Carl. You see, that was a lazy jab that time. You want to throw it, step up in it. When you throw a lazy jab, you allow your opponent to walk right in on you, and that's what Pendergrass can do. Of course, he's making the fight because Larry's got pretty quick hands for a big guy, and he's able to counter him and bang him to the body inside. But Pendergrass just stays right in front of him. He's got to take a little step to the right and throw the right hand. Instead, it's Pendergrass lands him with 2 good shots.
And I tell you, Larry Donald, he can take it now. He's not one that's can't take a punch, but he doesn't have to show us that every fight.
That's it. Pendergrass still tries to make a fight of it. He's on the assault to the closing seconds of the 7th round. A better round for Pendergrass, but still not enough to win the round.
Nah, I have to agree with you. Larry Donald's doing just enough to win each round. And folks, if you're out there watching, this is the kind of fight that sometimes can get boring, but this guy is just doing enough to win each and every round.
We talk about the fans watching at home, Carl. You and I, when we're sitting here calling a fight, we want the knockout too with heavyweight. I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I love this sport so much. I do get wrapped up in it. And I'm like you. You're watching. Come on, nail him, hit him with that right hand, knock him out. But in all fairness to Larry, he's doing exactly what he has to do. I've got him winning every single round, 1 through 6, and I gave Pendergrass an even round in the 7th round. So we're going to 8, 9, and 10. 3 rounds to go. Pendergrass needs a knockout. And look at this, Carl.
Now, I tell you, looking at Larry Donald, he's getting a bit anxious. He's hitting him with some good shots, and it's a very awkward jab of Pendergrass with a side angle. Very difficult kind of fight. I think he's lunging, and Larry is not really, it's not a great counter puncher when the guys fall on the way like that.
All right, here we go. Round number 8. Bob Sheridan, Carl King, Jimmy Smith working the interview circuit for us here and talking to the fighters after each individual fight. So we've got a good team put together for you here in U.S. Satellite Broadcasting. Wild as the right hand is Artis Pendergrass. Pendergrass now in the black trunks to the left of the screen. The big guy in the white trunks is Larry Donald. Donald, don't forget, ranked number 3 in the WBA, 4 in the IBF. He's a real good one, world-class fighter. Pendergrass, not a ranked fighter, this is a big step up in class for him, but as we mentioned so many times before, he's fought a lot of good guys in this division, and he's holding his own. He's holding his own with Larry. He's not looking bad. He doesn't look great. He's not winning many rounds, but he's making the fight because he keeps coming forward.
Well, he's the kind of guy that never ever gives up. He tries, he gives it his all, and that's what makes the Artis Pendergrasses of the boxing world, in my mind, are great guys to watch fight, because they give you their all, whether they win it or they lose it. They give you 100% of their effort.
There's Pendergrass reaching downstairs. You know, he's wide open for the left hook when he reaches like that. See that, Carl? He reaches with that left. His body is totally exposed. He drops his right hand. He can hit him with a left hook and a right hand there, and that'll be good night, lights out for Artis Pendergrass, I'll tell you.
But
watch him when he lunges forward, Carl. Inside here is not the place that I'm talking about. But watch him when he lunges with his left. He drops his right hand, and that's when this guy, Larry's going to take the half step this time to the left. He needs to be off one shoulder or the other. Don't let the Pendergrass square you up.
Exactly. There you go. Now, what he has to do is fight off the angles, and he can't do this. And right now, when Larry fights off the angles, this guy is so awkward that he kind of squares him up because he's an awkward fighter.
Larry likes to throw it back up now. There he goes with a sneaky right hand, but he's not turning it over. He's got to get the hip into that punch. He's right there. It's right there for him. He's just got to let it fly. He's a little tentative. He's got to throw more right hand. You heard me yelling at him last round.
All the world heard you yelling at him last round. I tell you what, this is a very interesting fight. This guy's made a great account of himself thus far. This Artis Pendergrass. Larry Donald needs to work. He needs to stay busy. He needs to continue that, and then I think that he'll be a power to be reckoned with. See what I mean, Colonel? You look at this guy. Pendergrass is never giving up. He continues trying to apply the pressure. Larry Donald needs to step it up himself and back Pendergrass up, and I think he can get the job done if he turns the fight around in that manner.
Well, there's only, as you see, 18, 17 seconds to go here in the 8th round. This is a scheduled 10-round affair, and now the fatigue factor comes in. Neither fighter has been down. Nice flipping, chopping left hook that time. He bangs him with the left hand again, but where's the right hand go? Let it fly, Larry, will you please? Let the right hand go. Hey, thank you. The bell ends at round number 8. Okay, Smitty's out and about Minneapolis. Let's go to it.
Covering championship boxing here tonight, but the Twin Cities are rich in sports history. You're looking at a shot at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, home of the Minnesota Vikings. They, of course, have appeared in 4 Super Bowls, nearly made it again this year, and the Minnesota Twins, who captured the 1987 and 1991 World Series championships.
All right, and here's the live scene back here. We're coming up to round number 9 of this big fight between Larry Donald and Artis Pendergrass. Neither fighter has been down. Pendergrass a little puffy around the eyes. The beautiful ring card girls here in attendance, and the crowd loves them. And you know, this is the only network that I work for, Carl, U.S. Satellite Broadcasting, that lets us show with the guys sitting at home on the city.
Hey, you're absolutely right. The best boxing on TV is on USSB.
All right, here we go. Round number 9. Bob Sheridan with Carl King. You just saw Jimmy Smith up and about around town here in the Twin Cities. What a beautiful place this is, and the great reception they've given us here for boxing. They've turned out here in mass. It's just a nice place to come and cover a sporting event, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah, this is a great place. And I happen to agree with Smitty about those Minnesota Vikings. I was really pulling for them this year. Little slip.
He didn't wave it off. The referee a little tentative on that. We assume it was a slip. We still haven't seen a wave up yet. It's got to be. He's got to kind of help them up. Now he's having to pull the trunks up. Time is out right now, folks. Let me see if I get one. No, I can't get Larry's attention. He's got to throw more rights. All right, we're in the 9th round, and Artis has made it the 9th round pretty exciting to this point. Artis goes to the body again. Larry ties him up. Larry appears to be a little bit fatigued. When he throws that right uppercut, he doesn't really get into it. I like to see him throw more left uppercuts because he can really turn it over. There's a nice uppercut that time. He was right position, though, Cal. And there it is again. That's all he has to do. You know what he needs to? Just one little half step off the left shoulder, off the right shoulder of Pendergrass, and off his left shoulder, and that left would be right there.
Yeah, he's getting nailed with some pretty good shots.
He is.
Good left hook.
This kid, when he gets hit, he comes back like Felix Trinidad. Trinidad doesn't start fighting until he gets knocked down. Pendergrass doesn't do anything until Larry bangs him with a good combination. A tough kid.
He's really giving a good account of himself, and he's really a grateful young man. He's grateful for the opportunities, and he's trying to really impress a lot of his Minnesota.
I like the look I see in the face of Larry right now. He looks more determined right now. Looks like he almost might be mad at this guy. He's such a nice guy, you know, but he also is a student of boxing, so he's just giving this guy a box. Look at this. 2 right hands, the left hand, the left hook. Nice right hand, clips the chin. Off the cheek, comes with the uppercut. There he was in position for it that time. And Pendergrass fights back. And the crowd loves it when he fights back.
And this is what boxing's all about. You know, you got 2 guys in
People on the feet, crowd. Unbelievable.
And now Pendergrass is trying to do the roughhouse tactics.
And that's what he should do. You're right.
You know, and this is what Larry should have done earlier. You gotta establish control early in a fight like this in order to earn and maintain the respect of your opponent.
Larry still is going to have trouble shaking that image, and it's not laziness. He's working. He knows what he's doing. He's working on certain things in there. He has a tendency to throw the left and slide back. And, oh, nice right hand that time. Wow, with the left hook that time. He tried to follow up the right hand. I like that idea. When he clipped him good, he came right after him. But Pendergrass is in terrific shape, and it shows when you fight every month like he's done in the early part of 1999 that you're ready to fight. He's ready to fight.
Yes, he is. He's in excellent shape, and he's showing that right now. And Larry Donald just put together quite a nice combination of punches, and that's what he needs to do round after round after round.
Well, he's in against a much higher ranked fighter, and he's making the count of himself, and he's doing as best he can. He certainly doesn't lack in confidence, and he certainly doesn't lack in his, let's say, his hard trying anyway. Okay, closing seconds of the 9th round.
To fight in this arena, to enter this ring, to step into boxing history, you must be ready to fight for the most coveted title in sports, heavyweight king of the world, WBA IBF king Evander Holyfield, WBC king Lennox Lewis, the unmitigated, unadulterated, undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Holyfield versus Lewis, Saturday, March 13th, live on pay-per-view. Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, only one will be king.
Oh man, I can't wait for that next week. The real legitimate heavyweight championship of the world. When either guy can win, there's reasons why Holyfield should win, reasons why Lennox win. Anyway, this is the 10th and final round. Larry Donald in the white trunks. Artis Pendergrass, who's made the fight, but Larry Donald is comfortably up in front. Pendergrass needs a knockout. Larry needs to just outbox him and prove to the victory. Let's see what happens. I don't think Larry wants to settle with it. He's up on his toes, trying to throw those hooks, keeping him off. Comes with the uppercut. And look at Artis Pendergrass trying to work the body. Bangs the body, pushes him up. He's the guy that's bad. Artis saying, hey, I'm not taking it from you anymore, Larry. I'm mad and I'm not taking it. He comes at him. Larry bangs him. Oh, and he knocks him down for the first time in the fight. And one of the few times in his career, it's up to 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and be all right. He's taking the standing 8 count. That's the first knockdown of the fight. He's still clear. Nice left hand in the face again. Larry really wants to finish strong and knock this guy down again. Remember, the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. There's plenty of time remaining. And this is the 10th round. Larry trying to jump on him like a cat. He nails him with the left hook. Up on his toes. Goes with the right hand lead. Pendergrass still plods forward. Comes straight at him. Larry needs to get that left hand and right hand out there. Instead, he just lets him waltz in on him.
He needs to keep it up. He needs to step it up like he did. I think it would be a beautiful thing for Larry Donald to stop this guy in this last late rounds like this. And more with an ending for an exciting fight, that would be.
Well, Pendergrass has made the fight. He's out of gas right now. The left hook and I think the series of punches that he got hit with early in the round did hurt him a little bit. And the big guy, don't forget, Larry Donald has to carry around 243.5 pounds. Is in pretty good condition too. Got him again. He's flat-footed. Is Pendergrass. He's ready to go. Uppercut, right hand. He fights back off the ropes. Look at this kid fight. He's not short on courage, but he lacks an ability He makes up in heart, I'll tell you. Larry really wants to take you out.
I'll tell you what, this has turned out to be a great round to watch, folks. And I'll tell you what, I'm enjoying it as much as any fan in the world right now.
Larry gives him some room. He backs him off. He's to the center of the ring. Larry wants to throw the right hand. Instead, he gets him back, draws him towards the center of the ring. He wants to catch him with that left hook and then the right hand again. Look for the uppercut, too. He can finish him off with that. He's hanging on. Now he needs to step back, get some room. Larry now has the room. Let's see what he does with it. Up on the toes, bounces to his left, straight back, in position, ready to let go with the right hand. Instead, he comes with the left hook. He wants to throw that right. Come on, Larry, let it go. That's it. He bangs it, shit. Pendergrass making a fight of it, though, as he comes forward. Larry loads up the shots. The uppercut digs to the body. Wow, left hand. Look at Artis Pendergrass. Fight back. The crowd loves it. Closing portion of the fight. Inside of 20 seconds to go now.
What courage this Artis Pendergrass has shown, and Larry down the same way. And I tell you what, this turned out to be a very exciting 10th round.
Well, the closing seconds down the fight, Larry Donald's won this fight. It's academic in winning unanimous decision. But I'll tell you this, Artis Pendergrass made the fight. A nice effort by Larry Donald. As bell ends the 10th and final round of a good fight. It's the governor with Don King.
I love it when you see him on the feet, Colonel. This was a good effort by both guys tonight. And look at the crowd's appreciation around ringside there.
Well, we might have been a little critical of Larry because we were pulling for him to get the knockout, as you see him there with Aaron Stowell. But the fact of the matter is, he did exactly what he came to do. He won the fight. That's what it's all about. This kid here, Artis Pendergrass, made the fight. He came in great condition. His eyes are kind of puffy. He evened up the 7th round, and here's the knockdown here in the early going of the 10th round.
A right hand, left hook, the double left hook, and backed it up with a right hand, and down he went. That's finished Larry down, and that's what he has to do to deal with the upper echelon of the heavyweight divisions. And I think that was a very impressive round for Larry Down.
Well, I scored a count 100-91. I gave Pendergrass, I didn't give him the 7th round, but I scored it even. But he made the fight. He made it an interesting fight. We're waiting to make it official, and as soon as Jimmy Lennon has the scorecards, we'll have it official for you. Again, it's not a close fight, but each round was an interesting round. Here's what we have coming up. The IBF Junior Flyweight Championship of the World, Will Grigsby against Caceres from the Philippines. And there's Pendergrass, who made the fight. We can't say enough about the courage that he displayed. And there's the guy with his USSB logo on, Larry Donald, who you'll probably see fight before the end of the year. As soon as Jimmy Lennon is set and is in the middle of the ring and has all the scorecards together, we'll go to him to make this official. Again, I scored it 100-91, and Jimmy is rechecking those scorecards with the officials here from the Minnesota State Boxing Board.
Well, you know, I bet you'll see this Artis Pendergrass on another Don King promoted show. I'm guaranteeing you that. He put up quite an effort tonight, Colonel, and has nothing to be ashamed of. He was in with a very good fighter, and there's a lot of young heavyweights out there that this young man here would give a tremendous test to.
All right, I see Jimmy Lennon is set now, so without further ado, let's go to the finest ring announcer in the land, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we have a unanimous decision. We go to the scorecards, and here are our totals. Judge at ringside, judges Dale Jackson and Jerry Lagarde both scored about 99-91. Judge at ringside, Brian Brunette scores about 100-89. All three in favor of the winner, Larry the Legend Donald.
Well, the judges saw it exactly the same way we did. I don't know why the crowd's booing at Larry. Again, sometimes what people think is lackluster, but he certainly controlled his fight, and that's a terrific victory for him. All right, Jimmy Smith has got Larry down with him, so let's go to Smitty. Smitty, take it away.
Thanks, Colonel. Wait, Larry, you won nearly every round, nearly got the knockout. Are you satisfied with your performance tonight?
Yes, I'm satisfied with my performance because it's a win. I'm always satisfied because I have a plan. I have a long-term goal, and that's to become the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Right now, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, they're going up against each other. Who knows? I may get the shot at them two, or it may be Henry Akawanda. Whoever it may be, it don't make no difference because I'll be sitting right there.
All right, you worked the body good early, and the right hand was working all night, as was the jab, but you abandoned the right hand and some of that body work later on in the fight. Comment on that.
Well, basically, I was trying to, work on my balance and my leverage. That's where most of my power comes from. My coach Aaron Snow had me working on my balance.
All right, at this point right now, you mentioned Akinwande. He's coming up a little bit later on. We have Holyfield and Lewis next week. There's other guys out there. When would you like to fight for the title? Where do you see yourself fitting into the title picture?
Well, I see myself fitting into the title right away. This opponent at Artis, Pendergrass, he's a strong fighter, takes a real good punch. And as you know, everybody you hit, you can't knock out. But in due time, all my punches be set up where, I have a much better chance of knocking my opponents out.
All right, he's in the thick of the heavyweight picture. Back to Colonel Bob Sheridan at ringside.